need to make hard decisions.
Yeah. And that's
what we talk about here.
And that's really the difficult part of this stage, right? When you get to this practice growth stage 4, 5, and 6, it's you're challenged as a leader, as a clinic director, to make hard decisions. And some of it's like, you know what? The mission is too important. I've got to make sure that we're serving the mission. We're making sure that we are serving as many people in this community as possible. We're bringing hope and healing to sick and suffering people. That's what it's about. And so I have to make hard decisions. And so some of it is like what you were talking about, Tony, with overhead, right? There's doctors that I know that we've seen who, as their practice has grown, what happens is they're making less and less money, right? It's like that your practice is making a bigger impact, but your income is shrinking because your overhead has just exploded, right? You went from, when you hired that first associate, you were at a 40% overhead. And by the time you hired the third one, you're at an 80% overhead, right? Something has to change. You have to make a change when it comes to the way that the practice is running. And sometimes we're just not charging enough. We're not charging enough for the services we're providing. We have to.
Yeah, it's been 5 years since we even looked at that.
We haven't raised our prices, or we're just not even charging for everything that we're doing. Right? How often do we see that, Tony, where we're not charging for progress exams? We're not charging, the full amount we should be for our first 2 visits when we're putting in all this time and effort into helping a new patient and really getting a solid correction for them.
Yep.
Like these types of things we have to look at, because the income number, the revenue number, the collections number needs to be where it should be, based on the type of experience that you're creating for the patient, and based on, what is best practices for the industry, right? Like it's like that has to be realistic. And then number 2 is you have to make hard decisions when it comes to, like, okay, maybe we have too many staff members. Maybe we have too many doctors based on where we are right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so making sure that we're making these hard decisions, because you got to keep that overhead at a reasonable level. What we recommend is always trying to keep it around 50%. And 50% is, you got to fight for that. You got to make hard decisions. Because it's easy to get out of control with it, especially as the practice grows and you're helping more and more people. It's easy to get sloppy with it. It's easy to add more things in than you need. It's easy to hire another team member rather than encouraging your team to work a little bit harder, right? It's all those things are it's easy to do those things, but it's not the best thing.
Right. Yeah. And then in addition to overhead, making hard decisions, it has to do with your team. And you have written down there, moving your associate doctors from the associate mindset to the leader mindset. We touched on this earlier. It's that self-employed mentality. And that's, you need to be purposeful on that. That's probably not going to happen organically.
Yeah.
Because it's easy you're not the practice owner. So having the associate embrace that mindset, you need to be intentional, which goes back to empowering them, equipping them.
Yep.
And then making the hard decision is like, is this person getting it?
Yeah.
If they're not the right person to do that anymore. I need to get somebody else in here.
Yeah. For the big vision,
shift roles.
Yeah. And that's it. So it's like, okay, so first of all, you got to be really clear on where you want to go. Right? Not everybody wants to open 2 locations.
Yeah.
That's okay. Right? But if you're at $1 million practice, I'm sure you have goals. Like, I mean, you didn't get there because you didn't have goals, right? So what are your goals? Is it that you want to serve more people in your community in the location you're in? Is it that you want to open a bigger location and still have a 1 location practice? Is it that you want to open 2 locations, 3 locations, 4, right? Whatever the vision is, that will then influence the decisions you have to make, right? If your decisions, if your vision is that you do want multiple locations, then you've got to have somebody on that team that can run another location. And
Mhm.
if you don't, like Tony said, you got to hire somebody else, right? Like, I mean, that it's not going to, you can't have both things. You can't have the vision to open multiple locations and not have somebody to run that other location, right?
Right.
You have to have both. You have to have, because I'll tell you, if your vision is, oh, I'm going to run both locations, it's not going to work, Doc. It's not going to work effectively. You got to have somebody that owns that second location. It's a second business. They have to
Yeah.
have that self-employed mentality, that business owner mentality, and make sure that you're casting that vision for them and that you're
Right.
incentivizing them in that
Right.
way that, hey, listen, when you're running this second practice, this is how we're going to pay you. This is how you're going to be, you're directly going to be impacted by the profit of the practice,
Mhm.
by performance bonuses or all these types of things, so that it's dialed in, so that when they can see the vision, right? You got to have the right person, but also you got to have the right plan so that they are rewarded when that second location succeeds.
Right. And just a little side note, you're typically looking for someone who has the fire,
Yes.
right? They've got the passion, they're self-starter, they're self-motivated, they're disciplined with their mindset and their habits daily. They're persistent, obviously getting great results, yes. They're coachable. We always use the humble, hungry, smart, right? And so, that's a
The
great thing to
ideal
remember.
team
Those,
player. Yep. Ideal
yep,
team player. Humble,
ideal
humble,
team
hungry,
player.
smart. Yeah.
Yep,
That's, I mean,
yep,
this, I mean, ideally all of your team members have that humble, hungry, smart, right? But if someone is, you want them to be at this level where they're going to literally lead another practice,
100%
they
they need
they've
it.
got to have that, they got to
Mhm.
be really dialed in with that. And then they just got to love the practice. Like, they've got to love what you're doing. They got to love the vision, the why behind it. Like, they have to be all in on that practice in order to be that kind of person who's going to take and run with a second location. And so making hard decisions is a big part of this. But also, I mean, the other part of it is just making sure that you have the right guide in place. You have a right plan in place to be able to move forward. And Tony, that's what I'd love for you to talk about that now.
Well, I mean, when you get into anything that's new, it's that uncharted territory. It can be a little bit uncertain.
Yeah.
So it could be good to talk to somebody, bounce things off somebody, strategize with someone who has walked with others at in that phase of development, right? In that phase of growth, that growth stage. So that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. I'd love to chat with you, strategize together, listen to your goals, help even maybe clarify them.
Yeah.
Really be laser focused on those, and then identify what needs to happen to make that happen. What needs to be added, what can be trimmed out, what can be added, how do we equip these associates, how do we move forward and really just crush it, just start dominating. And that's what we're here for. We want to help. And so, as you can see here, schedule a free practice growth strategy session. It's just a conversation for us to see if there's any areas where we can team up and it just makes sense, like we're connecting with one another, we're in sync, and that we can tackle this together.
Yeah. So just go over to the website, ucmgrow.com, ucmgrow.com, and just schedule, just click on that start growing button, schedule an initial conversation. Tony will sit down, he'll talk with you about your practice, talk about your vision, talk about the team, talk about, where do you see it going? And then we'll see if we can help you. We've helped lots and lots of doctors, over 250 doctors, upper cervical practices that we've been able to partner with and help over the past going on 12 years. And we
Right.
love it. We love helping doctors grow. This is what we're all about. And so if you want to keep growing, you're at that $1 million practice level, you've got a big vision for your community. We'd love to partner with you. We'd love to help you get there. And so, as we always say, Tony, go team
Go
upper
team upper
cervical.
cervical.